I think one of the main reasons why Gareth Southgate and the England team have been so successful is actually their professional approach. Over the last few years, things have really modernised within the sport of football, not just in the national teams, but also the top tiers of the football leagues around Europe. And when I say a professional approach, what I mean by that is they focus on a lot of different areas of the athlete's preparation now. So their physiology, their fitness, also their technique, injury rehabilitation, diet, sleep patterns, the psychological preparation. So no stone is left unturned. And as I say, it's a very professional approach. And we've seen it in other sports like the Olympics, we've seen it in cycling, football, rugby, cricket, and England have become increasingly successful in these areas. But I think football as our national sport has been a little bit slower to catch up on in terms of this professional approach to their preparation. But I think we're beginning to reap the rewards of that now. I think one of the key messages for the team is go out there and do what you do really well. So it would have been about handling that pressure and that anxiety and almost embracing it. It's not a question of getting rid of the butterflies, it's a question of getting them to fly in formation. So it's accepting those nerves as being part and parcel of a major tournament, but seeing that as an opportunity to excel, a challenge, if you like, and something that they've prepared their lives for, and also emphasising successes that they've had in training in their club competitions as well. These are players that can perform on the highest stage, so it's about being confident in your own abilities and delivering when it counts. So those would have been some of the key themes. And what you're trying to do as a manager or as a psychologist working with this team is to try and get them to go onto automatic pilot. What you don't want to do is think and analyze things too much. We have an expression which is paralysis by analysis, which is where you're overthinking what you're doing. I think the pressure's going to build as they go through the tournament and the expectations of the nation and also other football teams watching and everything that goes with getting through to the latter stages of a tournament. I think the pressure will build, and the key thing is to keep things the same, their habits, their rituals, their psychological preparation, so focusing on handling their nerves and bolstering their confidence and focusing on things that they can control, not external things such as the media or the fans and social media and all those types of noise, if you like, that goes on around the team. And it's all about doing what you do well. And the teams that can stay focused on that rather than getting distracted by other things are the ones that tend to be more successful in these types of arenas. Well, it's certainly not easy, but this, of course, is where the coaches and the leadership team really earn their money, is keeping the athletes focused. So they would have given the team themselves a bit of respite last night. They'd have had a bit of a mini celebration. Today will probably be a bit of a rest day coming off the back of a big game. So the physical rest that they'll require, but also the psychological downtime. So they may have some time with family and friends. But certainly they'll be very quick to pick up the training again and also to analyse the tactics ready to prepare for the Ukraine. So I think over the next 24 hours or so, we'll see a focus on business back to normal, if you like, for these players, focusing again on what they can control. So what are the tactics that are going to be required for Ukraine? What are the different roles of the players within the team? And how can they tweak the training this week to ensure that they're really prepared for the unique circumstances that Ukraine are going to throw against them. So it's very much focusing on what you've got to do on a day-to-day basis and not focusing on what might happen too much in the match or beyond that. I think for Gareth Southgate personally, I think there will be a big sense of relief actually, because we're seeing in a lot of these games, as is typical of elite level sport, it's very much on a knife edge and it can go either way. I think at half time yesterday, it was tough to call how the game was going to go. So for Gareth, just to sort of come out of the game with a win will be the main priority in that sense of relief. But I think as well, for him personally, I think what he'll have done is given him a lot of confidence actually, because there were a few question marks over his selection, possibly being a bit conservative, but he stuck to his guns and it proved to be a wise choice. We haven't conceded a goal yet. We're looking very difficult to beat. And going forwards, we're looking more and more exciting. So I think for him personally, he'll take a lot of confidence from that. I personally don't think at this stage of the tournament that he'll be thinking at all about Euro and Euro 96 and the penalty that he missed. He'll be very much focused on the game in hand. But certainly if we have a successful tournament, then I think when Gareth has time to reflect on it as a whole and the bigger picture, I think he'll be very proud of what he's achieved.